I think we can fairly reasonably expect that COVID will be here with us for a long time. So having this protection for the kids who haven't had it yet, I think is so key. And it's so exciting that we're finally getting close. There are still definitely some kids ending up in the hospital, some kids ending up in the ICU. Right now there's a lot of viruses out there, not just COVID, but certainly COVID is part of reasons why some kids are ending up in the hospital. We know that kids' immune systems are meant to see viruses, are meant to react to viruses and develop that immunity. It is really important, I think, that we give kids protection whenever we can. Waiting doesn't mean that they're going to have their bodies more equipped to handling a vaccine or anything like that. Young kids can handle the vaccine. We know that it's safe from the trials. We know that all of the other kids who've been vaccinated, it's been proven to be very safe from a vaccine point of view. And even little kids are ending up with serious outcomes. So if a vaccine can help make sure your kid doesn't end up in the hospital or to end up with long COVID or other symptoms, it's something that we should definitely consider. It looks like two vaccines. It looks like they studied it 4 weeks apart. There's some good data there that when they looked at that dosing schedule, that the antibody levels were similar to what we saw in adults. So that should be really positive and should be really helpful and protective. Definitely, when you look at the numbers that they're reporting of vaccine efficacy, they're a little bit lower than what we've seen in some of the older age groups. Now, that's something to take with a grain of salt, right? Because remember, what that tells us is it's looking at how many of those kids who were vaccinated didn't end up getting COVID, right? Now, remember, this is a very different time than when we were studying this in adults. So we know that as the variants have changed, it's become more and more contagious. More and more people are getting it. So to see that more kids did get it, that's something that I'm not too surprised about because we've actually seen that there is more COVID out there in general. The big things that we're going to need to see and watch for is, does it help with serious illness, right? Does it help prevent you from having those long COVID symptoms? Does it help prevent our kids ending up in the hospital, right? And knowing that we've got those high antibody levels comparable to adults, that's a really good sign that it should help. It may not prevent your kid from getting COVID, but what it will do is decrease the chance that they end up in hospital or end up with serious outcomes from it.